Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday. A beautiful long weekend Monday, a little bonus weekend moment. um, I hope everyone has enjoyed their long weekend. And if you're not taking class live, then you're out there enjoying the sunshine. It's a beautiful, beautiful day today. And so if you're joining at a later time, I hope you had a great one. I'm Seville, for those of you who have not practiced with me before, and we're just going to have some chill times. Always after those long weekends, we can feel a little more exhausted. I feel like at least for me, I always try to cram everything in, and especially with it being such a nice one. I spent a lot of time out in the sun, so I'm a little sun zapped as well. So if I seem a little like out of it, we can blame it on the sun. She did it. um, but the playlist for the our class tonight is in the comments as well as in the description of the class. So feel free to grab that playlist. And as always, just do what feels good for you. So if you need to chill it out even more, feel free to chill it out even more. If you need to ramp it up, feel free to add in all of the extra things to just ramp it up. And so we are going to get started on our backs. So feel free to head there. And if you're playlisting, feel free to press play on that cute little playlist. And Yogi's choice on how you want to begin your class, whether the legs are out long, whether the knees are bent. Arms can be alongside the body, they can be resting on the body. Palms can be up or down. Just begin to find a space that you can begin to settle in. Following the breath in and out of the nose. If you're an allergy sufferer, don't worry if you can't breathe out of your nose. You can always breathe through the mouth, and that's fine. As you start to settle into that nice rhythm of breath, can you just start to check in with yourself, seeing if this past day, this past long weekend, or maybe it's just a normal weekend if you're taking this later on, past week, past moments, have left you feeling as if your cup is full, or if it's left you feeling a little depleted. And can you allow yourself, whether you are feeling very full or very half tank, can you allow yourself to just start to dedicate your practice to either maintaining that full cup or to taking this next hour to begin to fill your cup? And that no matter what pose we're holding or moving through, you can find space and energy within those moments to fill your cup or to keep it status quo. Or if you needed something else from your practice tonight, intention wise, start to let that settle within the breath and within the mind. And with your next inhale, let's reach the hands up toward the sky, taking a moment to roll the wrists out one way and then the other way. And we'll allow the hands to reach back toward the back of the space. And take a moment to get those nice long body stretches. Oh, goodness. Maybe a yawn or two escapes. And that's totally fine. And then start to wake up the legs. So imagine that you're actively pressing the feet into like a baseboard. Toes are pointed up toward the sky. Heels are pressing into that imaginary baseboard. Feel that energy. Power up the legs all the way to the core. Start to feel the belly button move toward the spine. And then turn the palms toward each other. The fingers are hovering off the earth as well as the arms. And can you keep all of this energy and activation as you reach the hands up toward the sky? Next breath reaches the fingers down toward the mat. And hands reach up and back. Again, keeping all of that energy and activation. Yogi's choice on if the hands hover or if they rest down. Next breath reaches the arms up and then down. We'll reach up. Check back in with your feet, with your legs, with your belly. See which ones wanted to get sleepy and juice them back up. One more time. Let's reach the hands up and back, either hovering the arms or letting them rest down. Arms reach up. And go ahead and just release that hold on the legs. Maybe give the legs a little shake out as you roll the wrists around again. And let's bring the knees in toward the chest, holding on to shins, knees or backs of the thighs. Maybe rock a little side to side. Maybe finding that sweet spot to that low back massage. We're going to keep that right knee hugging in toward the chest. And left foot can either rest on the ground or you can stretch that left leg out nice and long. And we'll start to pass that right knee side to side from one hand to another, opening up the hip, just waking it up a little bit. And next time that knee comes over to the right, go ahead and hold it there. And then let's juice up that left leg, imagining that you're pressing the left foot in toward that imaginary baseboard. Take the left hand and rest it on that left front hip point, gently guiding that left hip down toward the earth. We'll bring that knee back to the center and guide it across the body. Arm can be out in a T shape or cactus shape. Just taking a breath here. We'll come back to the center. And let's hug both knees in toward the chest. We'll hug that left knee, and this time, right leg comes down. Again, you have the option to keep that right foot planted with a bend in the knee, or you can straighten that leg. And when you feel ready, you can start to pass that left leg from hand to hand, waking up the hip. As we start to, take these moments to wake up different parts of the body, getting them primed and ready for our practice. Just allow yourself to take some time to notice if there's any spaces or places that might need a little extra love or compassion tonight. Just make note of those as we move through the practice. And next time that left knee comes out to the left, we'll hold it there. Let's juice up that right leg. Imagine that you're pressing the right heel into that imaginary baseboard. And the right hand rests on that right front hip point, gently guiding that right hip down toward the earth. Next breath, we'll bring the knee back to the center and we'll gently guide it across the body, coming into that twist. Left arm can be out in that T shape or that cactus shape. Spending a breath here. And we'll come out of that twist. And let's hug both knees in toward the chest one more time. And however makes sense in your body, maybe you're rocking and rolling up and down the spine, maybe you're rolling over to a side. We're going to come up and over into table pose. So wrists are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. And let's drop the belly, send the heart forward, coming into cow pose. Exhale, we'll round the spine, tuck the chin, finding cat pose. And we'll start to flow through the two of these poses, creating a little extra space, movement in the spine. And if it feels good to hold one pose longer than the other, feel free to do that. If it feels good to move in a different way, feel free to do that. Two more rounds here. And we'll start to find that happy middle point between cat and cow, where the belly is pulled in like cat, but the heart is reaching forward like cow. Nice strong table back here. And we're going to sneak the left toes back, just keeping the toes on the earth, checking back in with that strong table back, finding this nice long line of energy. And with your next breath, we'll roll to the inner edge of that left foot, stacking the hips, stacking the shoulders, finding our modified side plank here. So keeping everything nice and open and broad, Feeling the shoulder blades move toward each other, feeling the heart press forward, feeling those ribs knit toward each other as well. And these side ribs, we have a tendency, I'm going to exaggerate here, to kind of puff them up. But if we can knit those ones together as well and find this nice long line of supported core moments. Feel free to stay here, or you can start to fly that left foot off of the earth. Actively pressing the earth away with that bottom hand. Taking another breath here. And we'll bring that left foot down. We'll bring the left hand down, square the hips, and we'll find our table pose again. Let's drop the belly, send the heart forward. And we'll round the spine, tuck the chin. And we'll find our strong table backs again. Belly pulls in, heart reaches forward, crown of the head reaches forward. Keeping the strong table back, sneaking those right toes back, keeping the toes on the earth. And with your next breath, we'll open up to our modified side plank facing the right edge of the mat. Again, taking that time to feel really broad across the wingspan, knitting the front ribs toward each other, but also those side ribs toward each other. Actively pressing the earth away with that left hand. And maybe you start to float that right foot off of the earth. We'll bring that right foot down, right hand comes down, square the hips, finding your table pose. Let's bring the big toes together, knees come apart. We're going to sink back into our child's pose. Reconnecting with your breath, knowing that this pose is ready for you, and at any point through your practice, this is a good pose to reconnect with your breath, reconnect with your intention, all of those good things. And with your next inhale, let's rise up, finding our table pose. Planting the hands nice and strongly. Let's tuck the toes, reach the hips up and back, finding our downward facing dog. Feel free to make this a nice and wiggly dog. As you bend the knees or maybe pop up onto the toes. Wiggle the hips around. With your next inhale, let's roll up high onto the tiptoes. And exhale the heels back down. Inhale up. Exhale back. 2 more times. And bend the knees, look in between the hands, however makes sense in the body. Let's make our way to the top of the mat, finding our forward fold. Adjust my mat just for a second. I have it halfway on carpet and sliding. Feel free to put a nice juicy bend in your knees for this first forward fold. Let's inhale, finding our halfway lift, strong table back here. Exhale, let's fold. Inhale, let's rise up and reach up. Hands to the heart. Inhale, we'll reach. Exhale, we'll fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up. Hands to the heart. Let's add on this time. Inhale, we'll reach. Exhale, we'll fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We're gonna bend the knees, plant the hands. Let's step that left foot way back. We're gonna stay up on those left toes. Pull the belly in, shine the heart forward, rising on up, finding our crescent pose. We'll root through that front big toe as we straighten that front leg with intention. Exhale, we'll bend into that front knee. Inhale up. Exhale, bend. Can you keep actively pressing out through that back heel? Bending and straightening the leg with intention. And we'll bend into that front knee. And we'll reach the arms forward. Right arm sweeps down and back. Maybe you accidentally bumped your plant, friend. And down and forward. 2 more times. One more time. I lost track. And we'll reach the arms up toward the sky. And let's bring the hands down onto the earth. Does not have to be graceful. We're going to make our way back to downward facing dog. And from down dog, let's roll forward, finding our plank pose. Bring the knees down. We'll shine the heart forward, use our entire exhale to lower down. Tops of the feet, plant on the earth. We'll shrug the shoulders up, back, and down. Shine the heart forward, finding our little baby cobras. And we'll lower down. However it makes sense in the body, pressing your way back to down dog. And that is the last vinyasa that I will make you do during your practice today. All the other ones are completely optional, so you do you. And from our down dog, let's bend the knees, look in between the hands. Let's make our way forward, finding our forward fold. Inhaling to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we'll rise up and reach up. And hands to the heart. Inhale, let's reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We'll bend the knees, plant the hands. We're stepping that right foot way back this time. Belly pulls in, heart reaches forward. We're rising up, finding our crescent pose on the other side. Actively rooting out through that back leg, rooting through that front big toe. Let's rise up with intention and bend into that front knee, again, with intention. Follow your breath. We'll straighten that front leg one more time, and we'll bend into that front knee one more time. We'll reach the arms forward. Left arm sweeps down and back, down and forward. 2 more times, following your breath. We'll reach the arms up, and we'll bring the hands down onto the earth. Let's look forward and step forward, finding our forward fold. Let's inhale to our halfway lift again. Exhale, fold. Let's start to bend the knees, sink the hips back, rising on up. A little bit of a sneak attack chair there. But as always, you are the master of your chair pose. So if you want to keep things nice and high, totally fine. If you want to bend the knees a little more, totally fine. We're gonna keep it nice and high today. Still working on did a lot of yard work and such this weekend, so keep it chill. And we'll keep the hips where they are as we reach the arms up. And then we'll fly the arms back, heart propels forward. 2 more times. We'll root into that right foot this time as we rise up. Right knee comes up. If you and balance are not friends today, that's fine. You can always keep those right toes on the earth. We'll bring the hands to the heart as we step back, finding our crescent pose. Reach the arms up, root to that front big toe. Let's inhale, straighten that front leg with intention. And we'll bend that front knee. Reach the arms forward. Right arm sweeps down and back. And we'll hold for a breath. Even though when we come to these twists, we tend to feel kind of bound up and stuck, can you find some space, some breath, some energy? And we'll reach the arms up. And we're going to open up warrior two, facing the left edge of the mat. Making sure you're actively rooting through that back leg, bending to that front knee, arms reach out. Inhale, let's reach up, straighten that front leg. Exhale, as we bend that front knee, let's bring the hands to the heart. We're gonna actively press the palms toward each other, feeling the shoulder blades move toward each other, feeling the heart lift toward the thumbs. Keeping the core pulled in, those ribs knitted toward each other. Recommit to that open heart. Can you stay with that open heart as you open up the arms? We'll start to reach the right hand forward, like your favorite beverage is just like right there. And with all sorts of intention, we'll start to straighten that front leg. So we're essentially finding our way like halfway to triangle pose, foreshadowing. We're gonna hang out here for a couple breaths, keeping the heart open, keeping those ribs knitted toward each other, keeping that left side body nice and long, as well as the right side body. You want both sides of the body nice and long here. We'll bend into that front knee, and let's reverse the warrior. We'll cartwheel the hands down onto the earth, and let's look forward and step forward. Find your forward fold. Inhale, let's halfway lift. Exhale, let's fold. And let's bend the knees, sink the hips back. Second chair pose, I think like getting close to the end of chair poses. We'll reach the arms up. Fly the heart forward as you fly the arms back. One more time. This time we're going to root into that left foot as we bring that right knee up. Again, if you and balancing aren't friends tonight, you can always bring the toes down. And let's move to our crescent pose. Arms reach up. We'll root through that front big toe, straighten that front knee, that front leg. We'll bend into that front knee. Bring the arms forward. Left arm sweeps down and back. Hanging out here for a breath or so. Again, finding that space, that energy, even when you feel bound up. And we'll reach the arms up to the sky, and let's open up warrior two, facing the left edge of the mat, right edge of the mat this time. We'll inhale, reach the hands up to the sky, straighten that front leg. And let's bring the hands to the hands to the heart, palms pressing toward each other. Opening up the heart, pulling the ribs toward each other. Keeping that openness in the heart, keeping the shoulders dropping away from the ears. Open up warrior two. And let's start to straighten that front leg with all sorts of intention. And we're going to reach the top body forward. Like, again, beverage is right there. Nice long sides of the body. Heart is opening. Breath is happening. And you feel like that's not enough to think about, Seville. Keep nice, intentional legs here. Try not to just dump into the joints. And let's bend into that front knee. And let's reverse the warrior. And we'll cartwheel the hands down onto the earth. Does not have to be graceful. Let's make our way back to down dog. Option to move through the vinyasa, or just to do whatever you need to do for 5 breaths. Maybe it's child's pose, maybe it's down dog, maybe it's drinking. Just 5 breaths to reset, reconnect. But we will be meeting back in down dog. And from our down dog, we'll actually bring the knees down onto the earth and let's sink back, finding our child's pose. I don't know what your air conditioning situations are, so I wanted to make sure on these warm days that we're giving ourselves ample breaks to cool down. Let's rise up, finding our table pose. Tuck the toes, hips reach up and back, finding our down dog. And from down dog, we'll make our way forward, however makes sense in your body, finding your forward fold. Let's inhale, finding our halfway lift. Exhale, let's fold. Let's rise up and reach up. And hands to the heart as we bend the knees, finding our chair pose just for a breath. We'll root through that left foot as we bring the right knee up and then send it on back, finding our crescent pose. Arms reach up, rooting through that front big toe, straightening the leg with intention, bending into that front knee, arms reach forward. Left arm sweeps down and back, down and forward. And we'll open up warrior two, facing the left edge of the mat. Let's open the heart, recommit to that open heart, open wingspan, and start to reach forward with the left hand. And you'll straighten that left leg with intention. Option to stay here, or you can bring the left hand onto the leg as you find your triangle pose. Right hand can always rest on that right hip. pressing the heart forward. Well, I guess toward that left edge of the mat. We'll bend into that front knee. And let's reverse the warrior. Cartwheel the hands down onto the earth. We're going to bring the hands to the inside of that front foot. And we'll drop the hips, send the heart forward, finding what we call cow lunge. And then we'll straighten that front leg, tuck the chin, finding a cat lunge. And we'll flow through these two shapes. And if this isn't working for you, you can always keep that back knee on the earth and glide back and forth. And we'll find our way to that low lunge. Let's bring that left hand to the outside of the left foot. We'll look forward and step forward, finding our forward fold. Inhale, let's halfway lift. Exhale, let's fold. Rise up and reach up. We'll bring the hands to the heart as we find our chair pose again. This is the last chair. Congratulations, you made it. We'll root through that right foot as we bring the left knee up and sending that foot back, finding our crescent pose. Arms reach up as we intentionally straighten that front leg. And we'll bend into that front knee. Hands forward. Right hand sweeps down and back. Down and forward. And let's open up warrior two, facing the left edge of the mat. Recommit to that open heart. Shoulders drop. Nice, strong, intentional core. We'll start to reach forward, straightening that front leg with intention. And when you feel ready, right hand comes down, left hand can reach up toward the sky or can rest on that left hip. Spin the heart open, breath is strong. And we'll bend into that front knee, finding warrior two to reverse warrior. We'll cartwheel the hands down onto the earth, stepping back, finding your downward facing dog. Option to move through the vinyasa, option for child's pose, for table pose, drinking pose. But take your time, follow your breath, follow whatever you need for your practice. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. However makes sense in the body, let's make our way forward, finding our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Let's rise up and reach up. Hands to the heart. We're going to root through that right foot, and we'll start to find our tree pose. So your option of tree, I'm going to scoot back so that way the top of my head isn't cut off. You can keep everything nice and supported. I like to call this rooted tree. You have both feet on the earth. Or you can bring that left foot to either the lower half or the upper half of the leg, avoiding that standing knee. And when you feel ready, begin to grow your branches. Feeling really strong and supported. And from our tree pose, we'll release the foot, bringing the knee out to the side, very similar to when we were laying on our backs. And we'll bring that knee to the center, and we'll send the foot back, finding our crescent pose. Arms reach forward. Right hand sweeps down and back. Down and forward. We're going to open up warrior two again. And we'll find our triangle pose. So a couple options. If you really love warrior two and you want to hang out there, feel free to do that. If you love this kind of halfway to triangle moment, feel free to hang out there. If you love more of a traditional triangle, hand reaching up around the hip, feel free to do that. Or you can begin to reach the left hand forward. If you need more core in your life, you can reach that right hand forward as well. And if half moon is in your practice and your body is like, yeah, let's do this, then, and your mind, then you'll start to bend into that front leg as you actively press out through that back leg. And you'll still find that same opening in the heart as you do in triangle, just standing on one foot. If you want like kind of a halfway to half moon, so quarter moon, if you will, you can always hold on to a table. You can go up against a wall, a chair, blocks, all are good. Wherever you're at, we're going to make our way back to our warrior two. Take your time. And let's reverse that warrior. And we'll come back to warrior two. We'll bring the hands to the heart. As we turn the top body forward, we'll pivot onto those back toes, finding our crescent pose. And we'll begin to press the heart forward, finding a long line of energy from that back heel all the way to the crown of the head. We'll actively root through that standing leg. We'll start to press out through that back leg, almost as if you're pressing it into a wall. Finding a moment of flight. And we'll bring that left knee up and we'll bring it down. Inhale to reach up to the sky. And hands to the heart. We'll reconnect with our breath for a moment. Let's inhale through the nose, open up the mouth, release the breath. 2 more times. We'll blink the eyes open. Let's reach the arms up to the sky again. Hands come to the heart. We'll root through that left foot this time, and we'll start to find our tree pose on the other side. So again, if you want a nice rooted tree pose, 2 feet on the earth, or any version of a tree pose that makes sense in your body tonight. And if your tree is a little wobbly and sways in the breeze, totally fine.
Go ahead and grow your branches if you haven't already. And we'll bring the hands to the heart as we bring the knee out. And then we'll bring the knee in, sending the foot backward. Finding your crescent pose. Let's reach the arms up. So we straighten through that front leg with intention and bend into that front knee. Arms reach forward. Left arm sweeps down and back, down and forward. We'll open up warrior two, facing the left edge of the mat, right edge of the mat. Lefts, rights, it's a thing. So just because you did something on one side doesn't mean you have to do it on the other side. Each side is very different. So take your time. Don't just like pop to half moon. Take your time to explore all the different steps before there. So again, you have the option to hang out warrior two. You have that halfway to triangle. You have that more of a traditional triangle pose, hand resting on hip or reaching up. And if you'd like to experiment with half moon, again, making sure your movements are intentional, actively pressing out through that flying leg, making sure that it is doing its own lifting. It's as if you're pressing it into a wall. You may get there and like, nope, I don't want to be in half moon. Like my body was just telling me, just pop out. Staying here for another breath. And let's start to find our way back to warrior two. And let's reverse the warrior. And we'll come back to warrior two. Hands to the heart. So you turn the top body forward, pivoting up on those back toes. Press the heart forward. Find that long line of energy. You'll root through that front leg. Try not to knock your plant friends over. As you find your warrior three. Moment of flight. Actively pressing that back foot backward. We'll bring the knee up. And we'll bring both feet down onto the earth. Let's inhale. Reach up to the sky. Exhale. Hands to the heart. We'll inhale, reach again. Exhale, let's fold. Inhaling to a halfway lift. Exhale, we're folding. Bend the knees, plant the hands. If you are needing one more vinyasa, now's the time to do it. We are going to be meeting in our table pose. So however it makes sense in the body to get there. When you get to your table pose, go ahead and just sway side to side. Just a different way to kind of get into the wrists and the hips. And we'll come back to the center and we'll drop the belly, send the heart forward, finding our cow pose. Exhale, rounds the spine, tucks the chin. Follow your breath. As you flow through this, noticing that maybe the spine is moving a little easier. Maybe the shoulders are gliding with less effort and with more ease. Just recognizing and appreciating the space and energy that you've created in your body. And however it makes sense in the body, we are going to find our way onto our booties. And we will be lowering down. Nothing fancy, lowering down. One of these times I will get fancy with it when we lower down. I feel like every time I'm like, it's nothing fancy. One time I will. It'll surprise everyone. We'll keep the knees bent. And we'll hug that right knee in. And we'll sneak that left leg out to straight. And just like the beginning of our practice, we're going to pass that right knee side to side. Again, recognizing that maybe things feel a little more open, a little less stuck and compact. And next time that right knee comes out to the side, we'll hold it there. Option to stay there, and you can support that right knee with the hand underneath it. Or you can find what we like to call sleeping tree, drunken tree, fallen tree, where it's essentially tree pose, but on your back. You can bring that right foot alongside the left leg, or you can even cross the right ankle onto the left leg. Yogi's choice. But again, maybe you take that left hand and gently guide that left front hip point down toward the earth, trying to keep the pelvis nice and even on the earth. And if you've crossed the ankle over, or you have the foot on the resting next to the leg, go ahead and bring that knee back out toward the hand. And use the strength of the hand and the arm to guide that leg across the body. So less work for the leg and the hip. We'll make the arms do the things. We're coming into that supine twist again. Again, option for that cactus shape or that T shape in the arms, or if you want to just keep everything kind of close to the body, you can have the right hand resting on the body somewhere. And we'll come back to the center, hugging the right knee in. We'll bring the left knee to meet the right. We'll hug that left knee in as we sneak the right leg out to straight. And we'll start to pass that left knee side to side. And next time that left knee comes out to the side, we'll let it rest there. So again, you have the option to support that left leg with the left hand, or you can find that fallen tree, sleeping tree, drunken tree. Either with that left foot pressing against the right leg, or you can cross that left ankle over. Recognizing without judgment that each side is a little different. especially when it comes to hips. So this side may look very different. And then again, we're going to gently guide that right hip point down toward the earth. Trying to keep the pelvis nice and even. And we'll bring that left knee back out to the side. And using the strength of that left arm, we're going to guide the leg across the body, finding your version of this supine twist, doing whatever you need to do with the legs and the arms to find that moment of release, softening into the pose, of connecting with the breath. And we'll come back to the center, hugging that left knee in and then the right. Moving through any other poses that the body might be craving or needing before we settle into our final resting pose, our Shavasana. Taking this pose in any way that you might need, legs straight, legs bent, laying on your side, on your stomach, in this comfortable seat, whatever makes sense for you. And taking that moment to reconnect with your intention before you drift away to that beautiful Shavasana land. Whether you had your own intention and need for the practice, or whether it was to either keep your cup at full level, or maybe it was to add a little bit more into your cup to make it a little more full. Giving gratitude to yourself for taking the time for you. Gratitude to your body and breath for carrying you throughout this practice. We'll begin to deepen the breath, inviting movement back into the hands and the feet, rocking the head side to side. Taking your time to press your way up to a comfortable seat. Bringing the hands to the heart. Thank you for sharing this practice, energy, and spirit tonight. The light within me honors the light within each and every one of you. Namaste. And cheers. Well, thank you all so much for practicing with me tonight. As always, the suggested donation for classes is $5, but any type of thanks, love, gratitude is perfect. Starting today's last day of May, so starting tomorrow, we are officially stamping for our summer passport. So make sure that you grab those so we can have a summer of fun. And then, as always, we have our Monday night classes offered here. And because we are getting nice weather, we will be offering a bunch of in-person classes throughout the summer. So be sure to check us out on all of the social medias and our website if you have more questions. Well, thank you guys so much, like as always, for practicing, and have a beautiful rest of your week.